Am I audible? Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so today we'll start with the policy of the industrial policy of 1991. A new industrial policy was announced on July 24th, 1991, with the aim of freeing Indian industries from control and shifting away from the protectionist system to a market oriented, competitive, and global environment. This policy is inspired by the resolve to protect the industrial structure from the web of necessary control. So, basic um, the main objectives of this policy was to increase the previously achieved achievements, whatever we had already achieved in the previous policies, that is the policy of 1948, then 1956, then the two declarations that came. Whatever achievements we had made, like creating a global front, then increasing exports, creating or adopting a mixed economy system, we try to enhance those achievements. Okay, then remove existing weaknesses and distortions. Whatever problems were there in the previously existing industrial policies were removed. Then maintain productivity and gainful employment. So productivity was if productivity is good, obviously we'll try to maintain it and obviously improve it. Then encourage entrepreneurship in the region, upgrade production technology, and achieve international competitiveness with the aim of globalizing the economy. So establishing our country's economy and business on in the global front. And then we'll see the objectives of the new policy. Firstly, to liberalize the economy. Liberalize means to free, give a little freedom to the economy for doing business. A lot of rules and regulations were modulated and changed in order to subside the harsh or rigid structures of the policy. Then to increase employment opportunities, to encourage foreign assistance and co-partnership, then to make the public sector more competitive. So as we saw that in the second policy, when that was 1956, the public sector did not grow any further or did not show any kind of improvement or growth from the point of view of financial improvement or development. So this policy focused on improving the services of the public sector. Voice is breaking. See, sometimes there would be disturbance in the class, okay, because I'm sitting in the office, so there may be a little disturbance, so try to concentrate. Okay, is it better now? Is the voice better now? I reconnected the audio. Yes, no? You cannot hear me? Okay. All right. So the government took steps in order to improve the public sector enterprises and make them more competitive. Then to increase the production and productivity, give encouragement to industries. Then to liberate the economy from various government restrictions, industrial development of backward areas. Okay, so development of backward areas was also a big concern for all the industries that were existing, because nobody wanted to establish their enterprises or businesses in the rural areas or backward regions because of lack of infrastructure. So the government tried to invest more in infrastructure building so that rural or backward areas could also get some development opportunities. To give liberty to private sector to work independently, to make development of modern competitive economy, then to give encouragement for expansion of production capacity, and to increase export and liberalize or facilitate imports. Okay, these were the main objectives of the new industrial policy of 1991. Then what are the features, the salient features of this new industrial policy 1991 were: first, liberalized industrial licensing policy. Now see, about this topic, I'll just show you once. I have uploaded some notes on Moodle, so I'll quickly show it to you, left in the hands of the wrong people. Okay, so where the licensing system is mandatory are army and defense. Okay, army and defense of the country cannot be left into private hands. Then forest conservation also has to be in government hands, because government is of the view or focuses on social welfare or the economic welfare of the country, but and they will take steps which will ensure that unnecessary cutting down of forest is not promoted. Okay, then like you may have seen that some of the areas within the city and nearby outside of the city are declared as forest areas or green belt zones. So within the green belt zones, you are not allowed to construct anything or do a permanent construction or cut down any trees. Okay, it may be offensive, and action can be taken against you. The industries engaged in manufacturing goods which are harmful to the environment, and industries which are manufacturing luxury goods for the affluent or rich class, etc. Okay, so any product that can be harmful for the industry, for the environment, they have been kept in these 18 industries and production of luxury goods. Then next we come to foreign investment provisions. These provisions have been made to invest up to 51% by foreign investors in the equity shares of Indian companies. Earlier, this limit was limited up to 40% only. This will increase the flow of foreign capital into India and make possible technical exchanges from developed countries. Okay, so earlier only 40% of the total capital or shares could be equity shares could be owned by foreign investment or foreign investors, but now it has been increased to 51%, which is more than half. Okay, so this will make the foreign investors more interested in Indian companies and Indian industries, and will bring in technical expertise from other countries as well. Then workers' participation in management. Under this industrial policy, emphasis has been laid on safeguarding the workers' interest. Provision has been made for workers' participation in management. In order to manage sick units, provisions have been made to form cooperative societies of workers to run them. So, firstly, the government has emphasized on the role of the working class or the lower class employees in taking decisions about the management. Okay, so a representative from the lower class of workers or from the bottom level of the organization is always made part of any strategies that are being designed for the company. Then, role of public sector. Those public sector undertakings which are not doing well at present, but in which there are enough chances of improvement, shall be reconstituted. Public sector undertakings which are facing constant financial crisis shall be kept under observation by Board of Industrial and Financial Reconstruction or by any other institution which is fixed by the government. So there are a lot of public sector undertakings which are not doing well. Okay, and these have not been doing well since a long time and need to be revamped or maybe reconstructed. Okay, so private partnership is also being encouraged in this kind of scenarios. Then, change in MRTP Act. In the Industrial Policy 1991, major changes have been made in the Monopolistic and Restrictive Trade Practices. MRTP is Monopolistic and Restrictive Trade Practices Act. Companies having investment of rupees 100 crores will not be required to take prior government permissions for opening new subdivisions or to expand the present industry or for amalgamation of companies. This industrial policy has also eliminated the investment limit which was fixed by MRTP Act. So earlier that we saw in 1948 and 1956 policies, a lot of private companies were set under restrictions so that they would not become monopolies in that particular industry. Okay, so these restrictions were finally molded down and under the MRTP Act. Again, voice is not better now. Then, creation of productive capacity. In order to increase the productive capacity of new industries, all administration controls have been removed. Industrialists will only have to inform the government of opening of new units or increasing the production capacity. So now production capacity can also be increased at any time and no prior permissions have to be taken for it. Next, foreign technology. No prior permission from government will be required in importing foreign technology up to a limit of 1 crore rupees. Indian companies will be free to negotiate their terms and conditions with their foreign collaborators in matters of technology transfer, exchange of technical know-how. So, any foreign technology that is being imported to our country and any Indian technology that is being exported to other countries does not require any prior government permission unless and until it is less than 1 crore rupees. Then, promotion of industries in rural areas. In order to remove the regional imbalances under this industrial policy, various provisions have been made to encourage industries in rural areas. Reservation of small scale industries. This policy has stated that the government shall keep giving assistance to small scale industries. The limit for small scale industries has been reduced from 3 crores to 1 crore. since 24 December 1999. Okay, so rural industries, rural areas, or industries in rural areas was the major concern of the government, and the government has taken these steps in order to increase or encourage industrialists or entrepreneurs to set up more industries in these regions. Okay, then we come to the impact of this industrial policy. What was the impact, or what changes it caused? The all round changes introduced in the industrial policy framework has given a new direction to the future industrialization of the country. Industrial growth was 1.7% in 1991 to 1992. That has increased to 9.2% in 2007 and 8. Okay, so there was a vast change that occurred from 1991 to 2008. Okay, it from 1.7% growth to 9.2% growth. The industrial structure is much more balanced. The impact of industrial reforms is reflected in multiple increases in investment envisaged both domestic and foreign sector. This is due to encouraging response from the private sector. There has been dramatic increases in FDI since 1991. So as we talked about that, in foreign investors are now allowed to invest up to 51%. The foreign investment as a percentage of total GDP has increased from 0.5% to 5.7%. Okay, then the investment in infrastructure sector such as power generation have surged from players of various sizes in different states. The capital goods have grown at an accelerated pace over a high base attained in the previous year, which offers well for the required industrial capacity. I will replace this word which good result, not bad, good result for the required industrial capacity addition. Okay, so these were the impacts or the changes that were caused due to the change in industrial policy 1991. So this ends the topic. Next we come to the role of industrial estates and role of central and state promotional services. Now the role of industrial estates, this is the topic that I was talking about, that I will upload the notes about. Okay, I'll quickly show it to you. I think I found them here.